Welcome to yoga for colds, flus, and stress. Get back into child's pose. We're going to start back in child's pose. Spread your knees wide. Get your forehead down to the mat if you can. If not, use a block or put your forehead on your hands. Because you've probably been spending a lot of time horizontal or laying on your side, we're going to spend some time going upside down to right side up to loosen any mucus you have possibly in your head. So enjoy this time here, stretched out, palms flat on the ground, just breathing deeply, concentrating too much on counting the breath. Just be mindful of it happening, of the breath starting and the breath ending. And just slowly make your way up to a tabletop. And we're just going to take a few cat-cows. Feel free in the cow position to curl your toes under. Really push through the hands in your cow or in your cat. Cow position again, toes tucked under. Cat position, toes out, pushing through the palms. Or you can leave your feet flat on the mat if you prefer. And just deep breath back into downward facing dog, keeping a deep bend in the knees. We're not going for extra flexibility. We're just going for a very light pedaling of the feet. And just to get ourselves in that upside down position. Push through the palms, fingers spread wide. Flat back, core engaged. And if you can't breathe through your nose, feel free to breathe through your mouth. That is perfectly fine. If you need to blow your nose while you're going through this sequence, then please do that as well. Pedaling the feet again if you feel like you would enjoy that. It's a very slow 30-minute sequence. Just roll back down onto the hands and knees. And then settle your way back onto your heels, either with toes tucked under or toes flat. Just take a couple of breaths. Then reach your hands high into the sky, interlacing your fingers. And then again behind your back, lacing the fingers, possibly looking up if that feels all right, expanding the chest. Back to a tabletop position and back to your child's pose. Connect with your breath here. If you've been feeling super frustrated about being sick, about being incapacitated, about missing work, about not being able to take care of household duties, you need the time to relax and recover. So take this 30 minutes, very quick 30 minutes to do that for yourself and enjoy what your body can do for you. Practicing, focusing just on the breath and the satisfaction that our bodies do so many amazing things, and yes, every once in a while we need to let them repair. Back to tabletop, we're going to go back again to our cat-cow. Again, when you're in the cow position, if you want to tuck your toes, feel free, and then untuck into cat. Really feel through these motions. Deep breath in on your cow, out into your downward facing dog. Again, bend in the knees, pedaling the feet if you wish. This video is not the greatest, but hopefully this voiceover helps. You shouldn't be looking at me anyway. Rolling forward onto a tabletop again, and then once again sitting back onto your heels, either with toes tucked under or feet flat on the floor. Reaching above, interlace fingers the opposite way this time, look up, deep breath, and again behind the lower back, switching the direction you've laced your fingers on this one. Deep breath in, expand the chest. Again, mouth breathing is fine if you need to. And then rolling to your left side and then bringing your feet out in front of you, crossing your legs left in front of right. Hands on the knees, take a couple of deep breaths. Couple of deep breaths here to reset. You shouldn't be getting the heart rate too high here. Now we're just going to lengthen our spine and lean forward. And this is where if you have a block or some other kind of a prop, you can use that. Or just get down onto your elbows and let your head hang. Feel that stretch in the outer thighs or even the inner thighs, the glutes. You may feel something different depending on where your body is tense, tight. Our bodies hold a lot of tension when we're stressed out, so it's really important to let go and use these yin type practices to release. You've got your left foot in front of your right and you're just hanging out here. You can scan your body for where the most tense places are. Trying not to fidget, trying your best to breathe into any of the tension, any of the what should be a 2 out of 10 pain. If you're feeling more than a 2 or 3 out of 10, back out of the posture. And using your hands, push yourself back up to seated. Extend the knees out in front of you and just thump the hamstrings on the back of the mat. And then cross your right leg over your left. We're going to do that on the other side. Hands on knees, a couple of deep breaths here. Extend your spine long and then fold forward. You can leave your hands on your knees. You can use a prop. You can put your elbows to the ground, or you can put one fist on top of the other to rest your head. Remember, back out if it's too much. Deep breaths here, counts of 3 in, counts of 3 out. And if you can scan your body for tension, do so. We're just getting the blood flowing, gentle stretching to allow for repair. Mindful breaths here, in and out. Enjoy this time you have for yourself. You don't need to be anywhere else. If your mind wanders, just come back to your breath. Just a few more seconds here. Hands pushed into the floor. Walk yourself back up carefully. Roll to your left hip and get back into that tabletop position for some more cat-cow. But anytime you feel a lot of mucus loosening and you need to blow your nose, go for it. Just a couple cat-cows here. Flat back. Just hold that position, engage your core for a moment. Then you're going to step your right foot forward into a runner's lunge position. Knee over ankle. And just stay in this low lunge position. Back long, neck long. And feel the stretch into the front of the groin. Your left foot will be flat on the mat behind you. And if you feel you can, come up out of that position and either press your hands into your knee and hold, or come up, stomach off the leg, hands behind your head, and look up a little gently for a chest opener and a good stretch into the front of that left hip. Breathe deep. And then right and left hands down, framing that front foot. Then pull your left hand back up and you're just going to go for a side bend. Right hand down, left hand overhead, bending to the side, to your right side. Unfortunately, I did not have a lot of room in the RV, so do your best there. Then back to the runner's lunge. And now you're going to transition by straightening your right front foot and sitting back onto the heel of the left. You can see my right foot is straight out in front of me. Now I'm going to bring that in, knee over ankle, and I'm going to take this seated position on my left foot. And once you've gotten comfortable here, You're going to breathe deep, straighten your spine out, and then put your hands in front of you and slowly creep forward, curling over and relaxing, stretching out the groin on the right hand side. If this is too much for you, if you can't put your elbows down, come up onto your palms of your hands. If you're down on your elbows, you can play with either having your palms down or palms facing up, down to ground yourself and up to receive more energy if you need it. Breathing deeply, enjoying the stretch. You don't need to be anywhere else. Again, using hands to get back up to your seated position, then crawl forward into a tabletop. And let's do a couple of cat-cows here. If this practice feels too slow, it might be just what you need. We're going to step the left foot forward into that runner's lunge again, and we're just going to hold here. Left foot forward, right foot behind you, top of the right foot down, grounding onto your mat. And enjoy that stretch here. You have nowhere else to be, and this is what your body needs to heal. Deep breaths. You can count to 3, or you can use the words in or out as cues to help you stay focused on your breath. We're going to transition. Again, you can put both hands neatly on top of your knee or just behind your knee, or you can come up again with the hands behind your head into a chest stretch, belly off the leg, core engaged, and if you can, a little bit of a back bend. And we're going to come back into that runner's lunge, and then left hand down, right hand up to the sky for a little side bend over to the right. Left. Over to the left. Back into the runner's lunge, transitioning through sort of a half Hanuman into taking a seat on your back right foot and keeping that left foot out in front of you, knee over ankle. And then we're going to slowly sink down onto our elbows, or maybe you're going to stay up on your hands and let the head go. At this point, I think I'm covered in dog hair. If you're more than a 2 or 3 out of 10, back out of the position. We want ultimate relaxation here and recovery. This is a yin-based practice today. Don't forget your breath. Breathing in for 3, holding at the top, and then breathing out for 3. If you're breathing through the mouth because you are congested, that's perfectly fine. Find your way with both hands, pushing yourself out of that position. Once you're seated, come back to a tabletop. And then a couple more cat-cows. They just feel so good. It's also moving around the mucus that could be built up in your head. And again, press back into a downward facing dog. Knees a little bit, or feet a little bit wider than hips distance. Good bend in the knee and pedaling the feet, core engaged. Now, I did this practice while I was sick, and I can tell you that the floodgates were flowing afterward. We're going to step forward with our right foot and then push into our heels, and we're going to come into the goddess squat position to the side. And elongate your back, your spine, your head. feet turned out, and you're just going to press the palms of your hands into the tops of your knees and then gently rock to the left and right. You can try switching your hand position to fingers to the inside of your legs and then fingers to the outside, whatever feels best. And then eventually come to just a stillness to the center. Breathing deeply, low belly breaths. Then you're going to push your left hand into your left knee and turn to the right, twisting, 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 wringing out our organs. And then if you have the purchase, looking over your right shoulder to the sky. If not, just look straight in front of you. And then we're going to turn to the left, the right hand pushing into the right leg, looking up if you can. Feeling that great stretch, getting a little bit of work in the quads, but nothing, no big deal. Nothing that's going to compromise your immune system or tire you out any more than you already are. And we're just going to rotate back and forth with 5-second holds on each side a couple of more times. At your pace. And when you're done, find center, come up to a standing position, arms above your head, reach up, maybe a micro back bend, and then on the way down, back up if you have walls surrounding you like I do. And hands to hips, we're going to flat back down to a forward fold. Hands on the outside of your feet, toes slightly pointed in. Try your best to get a flat back out of this one. Micro bend in the knees. We're not going into a headstand or anything fancy. Just going to stay here in this position upside down again, trying to work out some of that mucus from our bodies. And just rock front to back if you have the ability to do so. Lift up your toes if you have the ability to do so. And relax. Let your head hang. Find your way up to a tabletop position. And then back to standing, hands on hips. Then just step into a triangle, right foot forward. So you're just going to turn that left foot in, kick that left hip back, reach out in front of you, and then tilt down into your triangle. In your triangle, you can either hold yourself up, which is a bit more active, or use the right hand to push into the front of the right shin for a little bit more assistance in this pose. Opening the left side body up to the sky, arms wide, and look up at your left fingertips if you have the ability. If that is going to hurt your neck, keep looking down at your right foot. And breathe here. You're going to find your way through center, turn to the left side, left foot pointing forward, right foot turned in at a 45-degree angle. Shoot that right hip back. Drag that left arm forward and find yourself in triangle on the left side. Again, using the hand on the left shin if you need the assistance. Keep those left side body ribs off the leg. Right arm opens up wide. And look up at your right hand if you have the ability to, opening that right side body, or look down at the floor at your toes. Coming back up to center, hands to the hips, deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're just going to step forward to the front of our mat and find downward facing dog again. pedaling the feet if need be, and then slowly lower the knees down to the mat and find a seat on both your heels. We're going to once again stretch up over our heads, fingers interlaced, and then once again behind the low back, opening the chest, maybe looking up to the sky. Only if that serves you. If that hurts you, do not do it. We're going to find a seat on our right side. Then we're going to come into a cross-legged position and just take a couple of deep breaths. Now you're going to open your legs like I've demonstrated here, except this might not be wide enough for you. So you can turn if you need more room like I am and come into just a wide seated position, open legs, back straight, toes pointed to the ceiling, shoulders rolled back. Continue breathing and just hold that here. Micro bend in the knees. It's not a competition, so don't push yourself too hard in this. Deep breaths in and out. Now you're going to take your right elbow, you're going to place it on the fatty part of the muscle above your right knee and cradle your head. Then you're going to take that left arm up, reach way up and over to the right. This is a right side body stretch. We've been coughing, we've been in the fetal position, we've got a tight side body, so we want to cradle our heads in our hand, reach up, and take a couple of exits out from that stretch, and then bend back into it if that feels good, remembering to never let it get to be more than a 2 or 3 out of 10. Cradle that head and relax into this position. A lot of yin principles here, not active power yoga. We're not supporting the weight using all of the musculature in our body. We're going to use our hands as a prop. You could use a pillow or a block, but a hand works great. Just make sure you're not digging your elbow into your kneecap. You've got your arm on the fatty part of the right leg. And stretch. Enjoy that deep stretch. If you feel that your nose is starting to come unclogged, enjoy some deep breaths. Then we're going to come through center, take a deep breath, and we're going to position our left elbow on the fatty part of our left leg just above the knee. And you're going to slowly tilt down until you can cradle your head in your left hand. So once you've had a couple of deep breaths, we're going to get into that position. Head in hand, we're going to take that right arm and we're going to reach for the sky first. Reaching up to the sky and then coming into a full side bend. Sometimes if we don't have a lot of range of motion in our shoulders, this could hurt, so feel free to back out, bend the elbow and do it that way. Try a few different positions that work for you, but ultimately coming into a place of rest and awareness of your breath. It means less fidgeting. Breathe here, arm outstretched, enjoying that side body stretch. I know I've been side sleeping in the fetal position for a couple of days, for sometimes 9 or 10 hours a day. This is great for getting the body moving again. Come back out of that posture and back to center. Find your center and take a few deep inhalations and some equally long exhalations. And then turn to the front of your mat. Bend your knees in. And then slowly lower to the ground, bone by bone. And come to rest. Knees bent. Bring your heels in just so you can dust the backs of them with your fingertips. And then curl your knees into your chest and take some small hip circles, very small, keeping the core engaged, left to right, equal amounts. Just to massage the back. We're not going for an ab workout. Release the feet to the floor. And shift your hips over to the right now. We're going to do a little twist. We're going to drop our knees to the left. And then if you are looking for a deeper stretch or you don't have room, you can cross that left leg over, or the left ankle over the right knee. And just cactus your arms above you and enjoy the stretch here. Or simply just fold your knees to the left. You don't need to turn yourself into a human pretzel. One's not better than the other, whatever makes you feel good. Enjoying deep breaths here, in and out. And then slowly come to center, feet to the ground. Now shift your hips to the left and complete the same twist by dropping your knees to the right and potentially folding your right ankle over the outside of your left knee. Cactus arms and deep breaths. Thank your body for all the things that it still does for you, even if it does have a breakdown every once in a while. It may be frustrating and stressful, but we have to listen to our bodies. Coming back to center, feet flat on the ground. We're just going to hug in one more time. Knees to chest, forehead to knees. Give yourself a good squeeze. And then straightening your left leg and straightening your right leg, you're going to come down into Shavasana. And stay here as long as you like. And enjoy the repair. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me in your journey of managing your anxiety and stress. Be here for yourself. Namaste.